Oh, hi. So, I named my channel Learning with Sarah Machado. And I realized the first thing I need to learn if I'm going to have this channel is how to talk to a camera. It's way different than talking to a person, and it's a lot harder. So, I'm just going to record myself talking to the camera. And if any of this footage is usable, you'll see it on the channel. If not, I'm talking to no one. Yeah. So I do have a topic though. Let's talk about something today. My topic is Czech food. So my family and I moved to the Czech Republic this past summer, and we really like it so far a lot. And the food is great. It's not that different from American food. There are differences, but it's not so different that it's, unfamiliar. Some foods are not good because they're just not good. And some foods you don't like just because you're unfamiliar with them. And like here, the food, there's things that are unfamiliar. So this is what I'm talking about. Talking to camera. It's like my brain is not fully connected. It's like I'm not actually talking to a person. And so my thought process will start in one direction, and then it comes back and then it's gone. Yeah. I probably would feel less awkward if I had a script, but I really don't want to talk scripted. Okay, so let's go back to the food. Another running start. So, Czech food. Grocery stores here have very similar things than grocery stores compared to grocery stores in the US. There's a better way to say that. Grocery stores here have very similar foods as compared with grocery stores in the US. And the grocery stores that I've been to, one of my favorite sections is the bread section, because like the bakery section, because there are so many breads. It is way different than in America. So in America, when you go to the bakery section, you have like cakes and brownies and cookies. It's that kind of a thing. Occasionally there'll be things like French bread and stuff like that. But boy, this is hard. This is really hard. Okay, so I just watched back the footage that I had recorded, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It was okay. There is something bizarre that's happening cognitively while I'm talking to the camera lens, and I'm wondering if that has anything to do with I'm used to getting feedback from someone. You're always going to get feedback from someone when you're talking to them, even if it's just like, they're like scrolling on their phone and it's just passive, like, like, or if they're looking at you, or they look confused, or their body language will be giving you some type of feedback when you're talking to them. And a camera doesn't have any body language. It looks exactly the same no matter what I do. And there's not a face and there's not eyes to look at. It's just that little circle on the back of my phone. But the footage that I had didn't look so bad. So let me finish about the breads, and then I'll just see if I have any final thoughts about this practicing talking in front of the camera. So Czech breads. I was talking about in American bakeries, it's basically like kind of like a dessert section with brownies, cookies, cakes, that kind of a thing. And in the Czech Republic, it's so good. It's like, okay, imagine like French bakery, at least I don't know, I have very little European experience before actually moving here. Like I had come and visited once, but I had almost no experience. But like in my head, when I thought like French bakery, I would think of like artisan breads and rolls and desserts and blah, blah, blah. So the bread sections in Czech bakeries, just in your normal grocery store, like the equivalent of like the Walmart grocery store, they have so many good breads. It's delicious. It's like savory ones and sweet ones. And I mean, like I can go and get like I think they call it a chocolate roll. Like if you translate the words literally on Google Translate, it's chocolate roll, but it's basically a pain au chocolat. Like I can get that for like, it's like 14 crowns, which is like, I think it's about like 60 or 70 cents. And I can just like go to random grocery store any day of the week. Well, I don't shop on Sundays, but any other day of the week, I could go to the grocery store and get this delicious pain au chocolat. And like, it's like flaky and buttery and chocolatey and oh, so good. Like any day of the week. They have savory ones. They have these ones. I haven't tried them yet, but they look like little pizzas. They're about like that big around and they're pretty much flat. And it looks like they have a tomato sauce, but then they have corn on it. And Chris said, that's my husband, Chris. He's like, that's a thing here, like corn on pizza. I'm like, okay, I haven't tried it. Maybe it's delicious. They also, I love any of the cheesy ones. Oh, so good. Some of them will be kind of croissant-like. So it's like buttery, flaky, kind of a what is it called? Like a puff pastry, you know? It's like puff pastry type dough, but then it's like cheese filled or it's like melted cheese on top. And oh, I love cheese and I love bread. And yeah, so the breads are amazing. There are other great aspects of Czech food, but I think we're gonna stop there because the main goal of this video is to practice talking to the camera. So okay, let's do final thoughts. First off, this is gonna take practice. It's hard for me to stay with my train of thought when I'm talking to a camera. There's like some part of my brain that's kind of going like, something's off, something's off, something's off, something's off. And so then when I'm talking and, you know, I have a sentence and I'm going, or I have an idea of where I'm going to go, that like sometimes that something's off can just derail everything. And so that is going to take some practice. Everything that I have heard about learning to film videos and being in front of a camera suggests that that's normal, that's pretty much what everybody has to do. Like, it's not just like, oh, you're good on camera or you're bad on camera. Like, everybody feels uncomfortable talking to a camera. So I think it's just going to be a learning curve, but I think I can do it. It was helpful to go back and watch my footage from before. And I've tried filming some other things. I've done a little bit of content on Instagram and Facebook. Just some like really short, little long, maybe a little bit longer than a reel, but you know, like roughly the length of like a 90-second Instagram reel. And some of those have turned out okay. And all of them have been hard and take like multiple takes. And so I've mostly done this in 2 takes. I tried to do some filming earlier today with my iPad. That's right here. I tried to do some filming with my iPad. That didn't go so well. I tried on my phone with using my front-facing camera, but I kept getting distracted by my face. So I like set it aside for a couple of hours, I think it was, and ended up just doing some other things. And then I just barely watched a video on learning to speak in front of a camera, a couple videos on learning to speak to a camera. And that was helpful. So I thought, I'm going to give it another go. And really, this is the first skill I need to learn. This is the first like subject of learning with Sarah Machado. I have all these ideas of what I would like to do. I'd love to do, I love makeup content on YouTube. I enjoy wearing makeup, but like there's like not a speck on my face. So like clearly I'm okay with not wearing makeup, but I enjoy especially lip products, cheek products. So I'd love to do, you know, learning about makeup or learning about makeup in the Czech Republic. I would love to do, I'm love to read and I love to learn new things. And I have this idea of taking books that I really enjoy that are in the public domain, especially nonfiction, but maybe there's some fiction as well, but nonfiction books that are in the public domain that might be a little bit dense, and then doing live streams of me just like reading through the book bit by bit and maybe even sentence by sentence if it's really dense, and just talking about this is, okay, I think this is what it's saying, I think this is what it means, and maybe not doing so much commentary at that point, but just kind of like, you know how if you ever read a book, I'm going off on a tangent, we'll reel it back in a second, let me just finish this. You know how if sometimes you're reading a book and you're like, I wish I just had someone to talk it through because it's like the sentence structure will be hard, or it's an unfamiliar subject matter. And I'd love to kind of do that on camera, like verbalize, okay, that's what this, and maybe even like, you know, look up in the dictionary, oh yeah, that's what that word means. And so I think this is what they're saying. And not so much like a commentary of what they're saying, but just rather like on camera, be learning the content of whatever subject matter it is. So let me give you an example of one thing I'm thinking of. There's this book that was written, I can't remember when, like the 1940s, 30s. There was this kind of philosopher, writer guy, and he was really interested in ritual. And he wrote this book that a friend of mine recommended, and I've only read a couple chapters of it, but it's pretty dense writing, at least what I consider dense. And but his book is on the public domain. Like it's on, I don't know, I remember the word, like Internet Archive is what it is. It's on there. So I think it'd be fine if I just read through it. And it's a pretty niche topic, but I would love to be able to watch someone reading through, just help, like going through and understand, like working through the meaning of the text, if that makes sense. Okay, so I've been rambling a lot. Hopefully some of this has made sense. And you also are getting, I think, a fairly good look of what it's like to be a newbie at talking on camera. And hopefully it's been a little bit fun, a little bit informative, and I hope you're having a great day. I hope wherever you are, whether your day is in turmoil or whether it's a relatively still time in your life, I hope that you find peace today. I hope that you have courage and be kind.